procrastination, these three simple steps.
So have you ever faced a situation that you had a lot of important tasks to do, but you kept procrastinating, so you never got this done? So maybe every day or every week. So the interesting thing is that you guys are not alone. There is a research saying that 1 out of 5 people procrastinate so badly that it may be jeopardizing their jobs, their credit, their relationships, and even their health. So today you will learn to stop procrastinating right now with just 3 simple steps. So last year I moved from Brazil to US, so specifically here in Chicago. So if you ever had a situation that you moved, especially from different countries with a completely different culture, you may know that the adaptation is very difficult. So I was in the same situation. I can speak English, of course, but I still miss a lot of information. I cannot understand completely what people talk to me. And apart from that, I had to open new bank account. I had to rent a house. I had to buy new furniture. So one thing is when you do all of these things at home, like you are more in a comfort zone, so you know where to get all these things. So for me, it was very difficult. But anyway, I tried to keep strong, focusing on my new job. So I had to prove that it was worth it for my boss to reallocate myself from Brazil to here. So I had to work very hard. But it reached a point that things start to accumulate until a point that start to become even kind of stressful for me, because a lot of big decisions or big things that I had to accomplish, I was procrastinating. So when it starts to reach a point very difficult for myself that was even impacting my personal life, I took a decision to try to organize myself. First of all, separating things that already became really urgent to be done, that if I didn't accomplish, it could be very bad for myself. And I think that the turning point that coincidentally at that time, I was reading an article that was saying that the key thing for you to avoid procrastination, especially if the problem that you have is very complex, is follow 3 steps. So first of all, start as early as possible. So you may be thinking, okay, but this is difficult because if I'm procrastinating, how can I start as early as possible? But like the article is saying, that's simple. If it's complex, break the problem into multiple parts so that you break in so many multiple parts that if you accomplish it part per day, it's going to be simple. And then you create a habit to start doing every day. So suddenly, in 1 week or maybe some months, you're gonna get this problem done. So of course that it was not a simple task, but I tried to trust on this methodology in this process. So I started to separate things. So things like very simple, like cleaning the house. Like my life was such a mess that even these kind of things I started to procrastinate. But I still trusted in this methodology and separate one part of my home to clean up, and also until more complex things such as prepare my tax return. It was a nightmare for me, especially for me that I'm from Brazil. It was completely different to prepare tax return in Brazil and prepare a tax return here. And in my case, it made it much more complex because I had dual citizen status. So what I did after I started to reasonably organize myself, and then I identified that preparing tax return would become a very important and urgent thing to myself. So I followed this methodology. I started early, like in January, I started to assessing like either to consult a professional or to like sign up for a tax return software. So I decided to do through TurboTax. And then in January I started to navigating, simulating how to complete my tax return. And when I was finding difficulties, I went to the IRS website and read the rules. So I did one part each day, so that in February, when I received the documents, I started completing things that was already familiar to myself. And then finally, in April, I managed to submit everything. So this was a very important thing to myself, because like I was a mess before, and then it was like a very great thing. It was a pleasure to myself to know that I managed to accomplish a complex situation. And since like before I was not managing to even clean my house, you know. So I really recommend you guys, if it worked to me, it for sure work for yourself. Just follow these 3 simple steps. Start early, break it down, and do one part per day.
Okay, thank you for that. Great.